And the US and North Korea have once again been trading rather aggressive barbs with one another, accusing the other side of ratcheting up tensions on the Korean Peninsula. The two sides exchanged some verbal blows in Geneva on Tuesday, with the US representative saying the regime might be able to hit the mainland United States with a nuclear-tipped missile within months. Seung-jae reports.
North Korea is only months away from obtaining the capability to hit U.S. territory with a nuclear weapon. This isn't the first time a U.S. official has warned of North Korea's nuclear capabilities. But the North responded this time by blaming Washington for escalating tensions, adding the U.S. is considering a preemptive strike against Pyongyang. All this happening in Geneva Tuesday at a UN-sponsored conference on disarmament. Robert Wood, a U.S. permanent representative to the Conference on Disarmament, who was especially vocal at the conference, called North Korea's peaceful actions before the PyeongChang Winter Olympics nothing more than an act, stressing that the situation on the Korean Peninsula remains as volatile as ever.
The situation on the Korean Peninsula has not changed. The regime continues work on its ballistic missile and nuclear programs. What I would call charm offensive, frankly, is fooling no one.
Ju Young-chul, the North Korean diplomat at the conference, didn't shy away from accusing the U.S. of using the North's missile and nuclear programs as an excuse for a possible preemptive strike on the regime.
U.S. officials, including Defense Secretary and the CIA Director, repeatedly talked about DPRK nuclear and missile threat to justify their argument for military option, and the new concept of so-called bloody nose limited preemptive strike on the DPRK is under consideration within the U.S. administration.
Elsewhere, with the U.S. recently issuing its 2018 nuclear posture review, China's foreign ministry stated that Washington is hanging on to its Cold War mentality and that policy deviates from peace and development. Referring to the fact that the U.S. has the world's biggest and most advanced nuclear arsenal, Beijing's foreign ministry spokesperson Gang Shuang added the U.S. move to increase its nuclear power would lead to a global strategic imbalance. During a congressional meeting on Tuesday, U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis voiced his concerns over the North's nuclear program, stating that its nuclear program is a threat to global security. Mattis added that along with North Korea, Russia and China have been advancing their nuclear programs, while the U.S. has remained the same. With the Winter Games in South Korea just a couple of days away, many wonder if the latest verbal tit-for-tat between the U.S. and North Korea will negatively impact the South's goal of holding a peace Olympics. Seung-jae, Arirang News.